at the MinEx CRC Annual Conference, and I have a superstar of STEM, Helen McFarlane. Thank you for chatting to me, Helen.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
So how are you finding the conference so far?
Well, we've really just kicked off this morning, and it's the presentation of all the big ideas, the context for many years worth of research, and where a lot of the research, the commercialization and the exploration impact is heading, hopefully, in the next few years.
Awesome. And so what are some of the key things you think people will be taking away from today?
I think the critical things are the advancement of different drilling technologies, how they're starting to make an impact in exploration, how it's helping us understand different parts of the cover, how we can actually use these technologies as a bit of a step change, integrate research and technology into this different sphere to advance, in particular copper exploration and discovery.
Yep. That's really cool. And so you're a part of the Project 7, which is searching undercover. Can you tell me a bit more about the work that you're involved with?
Yeah, sure. So Project 7 is about finding mineral systems undercover. It's predominantly sponsored by the Australian Geological Survey. So all states and territories plus Geoscience Australia. And it's probably one of the most collaborative aspects of the project. And it's bringing together researchers from different universities, from the surveys themselves, and from CSIRO. So it's broken down into five parts.
Yep.
So the first part is understanding mineral systems inside out. The second part is looking at signatures of mineralization in cover, so exploring through or better understanding the cover problem. The third part is linking geology and geophysics. So that's where we add in a lot of the petrophysical information, new geophysical techniques, and integration of different geophysical data sets. The fourth part is really the data delivery for the National Drilling Initiative. It's very complicated. It's a long list. And that's how we get all of the information out about MinEx. And then part 5 is the development and application of new novel techniques for dating and tracing processes that are controlling mineralization, or that can help us date it and trace it. And a lot of those technologies are coming out of the universities.
Yeah. And so which part of the project have you been most heavily involved?
So the part that I concentrate on predominantly is understanding mineral systems inside out. But everything is really tightly integrated. So to understand these mineral systems inside out, of course, we need to understand cover signatures. We're still using the geophysics. We're applying those novel dating and tracing techniques. So it's very much like a holistic science program and very collaborative.
That's really cool. And so what have been some of the key learnings for you so far through the project?
With understanding mineral systems inside out, what we were trying to do is look at the core of a few different systems and then push it out to understand the physical and chemical footprints. So since I came on board, we've predominantly been focusing on mineralizing systems in the Cobar Basin, and that's very much integrating mineralogy, petrophysics and geophysics to look at those signals, the zonation, and how you can characterize the system in a systematic way and add value to pre-competitive data sets to then foster really healthy exploration. So that's one of the case studies. That's shown really interesting promise for it, showing systematic variations in those properties despite the mineralization styles. So it opens up our understanding of the processes rather than it being blinkered by commodities specifically. And then we've got the work in Nifty, so that's very much starting at a camp scale and pushing it out to a regional scale. So if you're trying to find sediment copper or sediment-hosted copper in Australia, then what are the techniques that you can use to detect any zonation or vectors or proxies for processes that have generated those kinds of deposits. And I think the cool thing about Nifty and a lot of the research that's coming out about Nifty is that it's not as simple as a sediment-hosted copper system like what you would see in the Central African Copper Belt. Instead, we have more complicated processes associated with the subsequent basin inversion and late-stage magmatism. And then the third awesome case study is happening around northeastern Victoria, and that's where we're pulling apart the signals of orogenic gold versus intrusion-related gold, and that's with an amazing microanalytical campaign or microanalytical program. And with that, we can look at the chemistry, the timing of different events, and then that goes down into the mineral chemistry, the processes that are controlling variations, down to a grain scale, really, and teasing out where we've got orogenic gold being overprinted by intrusion-related systems and vice versa.
So now with all this research, what are some of your favourite things to look for some of these systems?
I think the techniques that are pushing into the Australian basin spaces are really interesting because we're linking signals with processes in the basin evolution. So I think the science it's really about translating this new knowledge and pushing it out and propagating that knowledge into understanding the dynamics of the system. So how can we capture evidence through these different analytical campaigns and then replicate it or test those hypotheses with numerical modelling, for example, or deformation fluid flow modelling, or how do we add a time component if we're to look at the evolution of the basin in the context of the Australian continent evolution.
That's very cool.
That I can't wait to see.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Gosh, you're quite busy.
Yes.
A lot that you're involved with.
Yes.
And as far as I know, MinEx seems to be like one of the biggest collaboration efforts that I'm aware of. What about it makes it work so well, do you think?
I think it takes a lot of time to establish trust. So you can have clear goals and objectives for the program for the CRC as a whole, but with that extra time and trust, it means that people can work across state boundaries, they can work across organisations, you're bringing in expertise from different parts of the Australian geoscience community, so it is bringing in knowledge from academia and from government and from industry, but because we've been working together now for an extended period, those collaborative relationships, that sense of respect, that sense of sharing and that willingness to share, that has grown in an unexpected and super pleasing way. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how that continues for the rest of the CRC.
That is very cool. And has a lot of the learnings from CRC been able to then be applied to your role with CSIRO as well?
Yeah, so I try and keep them as a fairly symbiotic relationship because CSIRO, and in particular Mineral Resources and the Discovery Program, have many researchers involved in this. So a lot of the work that we're doing in the MinEx CRC is building on the expertise or the tools that CSIRO has developed and making them accessible to the surveys. And it's the same in terms of providing CSIRO researchers with an avenue to collaborate with amazing industry partners or the geological surveys, because we're interacting with their data and helping them answer their questions so regularly. So it's a great relationship, and I try and make sure that everyone gets the most out of it where possible.
Yeah, that is awesome. And if you weren't busy enough with all of that, you are also a superstar of STEM.
Yes.
Very cool. Can you tell me more about what you're doing there?
Yes. So the Superstars of STEM program is run by Science and Technology Australia. So it's a federally funded program, and it's ultimately designed to break down gender stereotypes about professionals working in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So every 2 years they bring in a new cohort of 40 to 60 female or non-binary STEM professionals, and take them along on a bit of a journey. So boosting networking opportunities, uplifting media engagement skills, but most importantly, there's an outreach component. So we head into as many schools as possible to help the students understand how diverse STEM professionals can be and the amazing career pathways that are available.
That can take you, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And my favourite part of every chat I ever have is talking rocks. And these ones, I believe you use with the students that you're engaging with quite a lot.
Yes, yeah. I'll tell you about them.
Tell me all about them.
So this lovely shiny one was a bit of a surprise hit with the students. So it's just a piece of obsidian. So it's a very black volcanic glass.
Very cool.
The students really knew it because you can mine it in Minecraft, which I didn't know. But this is an environment where they're actually learning geological information in a way more fun way. And in some of those outreach classes, we get them to actually handle it, and they even know how it formed, which I was very, very impressed with.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, so they're right up to speed on obsidian.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking there's new pathways for teaching through gaming.
That is really cool. Yes.
We'll see how we go.
That'd be awesome. And what's this other one?
The second one is probably a more sentimental favourite. So this is a spectacular sillimanite biotite gneiss, and it's got lots of different refolded folds within it. It's from Broken Hill, so this is where I cut my teeth as a structural geologist.
Hey.
I spent a lot of time in the field also teaching structural geology there, mapping with a great crew from Monash. This was not in situ, so in case anyone gets angry about me taking a fold out of the field, it was already broken.
It was already broken. Had to be done.
Yeah. Now it's preserved and is still used in teaching, but just well away from Broken Hill. And I still love it. It's beautiful.
I love that. Well done on all the fabulous work that you're doing. I cannot wait to see more updates. And thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thanks, Jess.